tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Live's The Trend. I'm your host, Derrial Christon. Courtney Stewart is not joining us today because she's over somewhere doing some Fox, news or something. She ain't here, but we got a full cast. We got the cast from Stuck With You, UMC. We're super excited. We got AJ Johnson.
What up?
Timon, Durrett.
Hey, y'all.
And we got Tammy Townsend with us today.
Tammy.
I'm excited because I've been looking for this show to air, and it airs tonight on UMC.
Premiere night.
Premiere night is 6 episodes.
Yes.
We got Valentine's Day this weekend. I know it's kind of like a pre-Valentine's for us to get in the mood for it. So we're going to talk about the show, but first we're going to get into a little bit of hot topics because there's been a lot of stuff in the news this week.
A lot going on.
Lots and lots going on. So we're going to actually start off a little bit with our boy, Jussie Smollett. He is back in the news. We obviously know that from last year, everything that was going on with the case against him for all the activity that happened. And now we just found out there are 6 new charges that have been brought towards him as of yesterday.
Yes.
And it's getting a little bit crazy for him. And a lot of some people are saying, listen, if he lied, the law enforcement need to take place and do what they need to do for their job. But then a lot of people are also having a little bit of backlash by saying, listen, we have a president who we just went through this full impeachment. And
Come on now.
Why are we focused on Jussie? So what do you guys think about everything that's been going on with him?
Well, I think that we live in a world where sensationalism and drama and trauma and gossip and things that are very hot, like they can say hot topics, things that get people hot under the collar, a lot of reactionary responses to certain things. I feel bad for the brother, I mean, nobody, regardless of the situation, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I do my best not to speculate on things that I did not witness or experience myself, but it is a huge, it's a crap show right now as far as how things are going. I don't wish any ill will on anybody, whatever the circumstances are, but I know that it is it's garnering a lot of attention and a lot of negative attention to this brother, and I just hope that he and his family and his fans and his livelihood and his job can, resurface, and come up like the phoenix from the ashes, because this is the kind of thing that can be very damaging, not only to your livelihood and your career, but to your spirit. It can be very damning to who you are, your constitution,
Yeah. I don't know enough about the whole thing to really speak on the whole situation, but Jussie is a longtime friend and has been a client of the AJ Zone. So we've worked very personally together and intimate. I think overall, I'm you kind of said it already. I'm so caught up in this blind eye that's being turned to, Donald Trump that I just can't, there's nothing else for me to even look at. I mean, every situation's different, I agree. But in terms of the damage that our country is going through as a result of his lies, Donald Trump's lies, as a result of the blind eye that Congress turns to all of his shenanigans, the disrespect that's been put out by him on Twitter, and just the lack of a presidential presence is, to me, more of a focus that needs to be fixed. Just is a strong spirit, and his family's very, very connected, and I think that they'll survive anything. I just think that, it's time to get through it and move on. Whatever it is, let's get through it and move on. Whether there's prosecution, whether it's, acquittal, whatever it is,
Jussie's also a friend of mine as well, and I mean, just to kind of jump on what both of them said, it's kind of low-hanging fruit to me at this point. So without sounding repetitive or anything, I wish him the best of luck. I love you, Jussie. Right. And, it's time to focus on the real issues at hand.
The real issues.
There's a lot of realer issues.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. Come on now.
That's true.
We live in the age of spin. Who can be the first to come up with some story that's going to get the biggest most varied reaction.
Sure.
Especially with social media being the juggernaut that it is as far as getting information. You know, you can post something about a little baby talking stuff to his mama, and next thing in 2 days it got 2 million views. And so imagine with something that is sensationalized in this way. And again, like I said, I love for people to be happy, and you know, like with these wonderful ladies, and I could just imagine if, like I said, he's a friend of you guys.
Right.
I don't know him personally. I know his work. I follow him and his family members who are in the entertainment industry. But when it comes to things like this, especially with me being a black man in America, you know, and you know, Team Light Skin Jussie.
Wait, but the chocolates is coming back.
No, y'all all the way back. We out. We are out. We hold on for our lives. I'm just playing us like that.
We live in an age where, you know, and when I say we, I'm talking about, you know, my brothers and sisters. It seems as though there's nothing that we can do.
Yeah.
If no good deed goes unpunished, and no bad deed goes unexposed. You can't do anything without someone saying something about you, and the fact that whatever the details are therein, I just feel bad.
And it don't even matter when it happened. It could be 10, 15
matter.
years ago.
And you know,
and we're being crucified for it.
The
Like,
other
people
side of
grow.
it, like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people in this case, but you know, Robert Downey Jr. did time for drug possession and addiction, and he's Iron Man.
He's
so
Iron Man.
I mean, you know, like what are we really talking about?
Right.
Whatever it is, let's deal with it and let Just, you know, love you Just. Let's let his talent shine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, we all make mistakes.
That's right.
And you know, if we're grown enough to say, wow, that wasn't a good choice.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't cut down my talent, it doesn't cut
Right.
down my family, it doesn't cut down my friendships.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I've had my share of screw ups in my life,
I think we
and
all
I don't
have.
want to live the rest of my life apologizing for the things that I've done wrong, or my missteps, or my misdeeds, or my transgressions, and whatever the case may be. Like I said, I can only speculate.
Sure.
And a lot of people, when I tell folks, I said, you know, with all of these different things, especially when it comes to us and how we are being perceived, you know, anything that we do is we're either being persecuted, prosecuted, or executed, or socially eviscerated in a way that would undermine who we are and determine, based on public opinion, where our lives go. And that's not really fair. You know, like your life, you know, person, whoever you are, making all these judgments, your life is not out there for public scrutiny. So if you're not there, just have an understanding that nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We've all screwed up, we've all fallen. I just hope that he can get back up and live through this. I don't wish anything ill on him. I hope that it's not so damaging to his life that he can't move on and have a livelihood that he wants.
Right.
You know, so.
I feel like, man, you need a sermon. That was.
I
man.
know.
I'm like,
All them big old words,
I
Timon.
was all up in it. I didn't want you to stop
Brought my
talking.
thesaurus with me.
I
You know,
see.
studied it on the way
An
here.
educated Negro up
Sunday
in
with
here.
Timon.
Right.
I'm in. I got my ticket.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to move on to the next subject. But one thing you brought up something, AJ, that I think is interesting. You mentioned Robert Downey Jr. and we've talked about Trump, and they seem to be able to be two people who make comebacks, because basically Trump's making a comeback. Mm-hmm. Can a black man make the same comeback? And do you think that this will affect his career in any way moving forward?
You know, I think the comeback field is completely different, because even without a comeback, our employment field is completely different.
Right.
So let's start there, right? Like, you know, without trying to come back,
Right.
it's like, you know, can you just get a job and keep a job?
Right.
You know,
Right.
Right.
on top of, if something goes wrong, is there a comeback? I mean, you know, there's a lot more employment opportunities now than there were 10, 15
Thank
years
God.
ago. Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, you know, if, you know, our mentality, I feel, as Black Hollywood is, you know, there's always someone else. There's always someone cheaper. There's always someone else, as opposed to whatever it takes, you're the person for the part, you're the person for the role. I can't see anyone else doing it. Let's make it work.
Yeah.
I don't think we as Black Hollywood operate that way as much as we could or should yet. And so I feel like, you know, maybe things can change. There is more work. There's more content being produced.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, when one thing doesn't work, hopefully there's more opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope that our mentalities and our spirits follow the opportunity and say, you know, there can be more.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all ages.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about
all ages,
That's true.
right.
skin
you know what I mean?
tone,
Yes,
tone,
right.
height.
Oh, you get what height discrimination? Shut up, Timon.
Yeah, people
Shut
call me- yeah,
up.
listen.
Oh, I'm tall. I'm an
Yeah.
Adonis. I have problems. Get up.
But at the same time, it's that thing, like you said, there seems to be this fraternal order of you have to go through some sort of hazing process, and you have to come up to a certain level before we can even give you a consideration for something that you might be perfect for.
Right.
You know, some
Or
roles
something that you have been perfect
Yeah.
for, you've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, and you
know?
don't get it. Like I said, I just recently was turned down for a role because they said, you know, we loved what he did, but he's too big for this part. And it just happens.
Yeah.
You know, oh, she's too light-skinned. Oh, we want someone older or younger, you know, or not as thin. We need a such and such type.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that, like you said, with so much content being made and so many brothers and sisters who are becoming, I would say, power brokers in this industry,
Yes.
we have more opportunity and to be able to have more of an opportunity within the diaspora of who we are.
Yes.
We're not
Yes.
just one type of person. We're not just
Exactly.
thugs
Yeah.
and drug dealers and strippers and hoes and gangbangers and victims. You know, we're also scientists and kings and queens and leaders and,
Absolutely.
And black
teachers.
folks like sci-fi.
We love sci-fi.
You know
I'm
what
a
I'm saying?
you know me.
Yeah.
I am a nerd.
Okay, right. Me
I'm
too.
the
You know?
biggest
Me
nerd
too.
for zombie stuff or
Me too.
otherworldly stuff.
Me too.
I
You give
love-
me anything with zombies.
I would love to do zombies.
my God.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. You put me in a zombie, I'm talking to you and you, and y'all
Right,
can't see me in that
right.
camera. It's just there's so much opportunity with so
Yeah.
many different venues for how to do things. And going back to the whole Jussie thing, I think that, you know, it's like having a bad cold.
Sure.
It sucks when you're in it.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to come out of it and you're going to feel better and you're going to do better and you're going to move forward and you're going to do what you can not to go through that again, hopefully.
Right.
Right.
I feel you.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And I think I hope what we're doing, you know, which is, you know, this amazing show with our friend and sister Patricia Cuffy Jones
Yes.
on
Yeah.
on UMC. You know, we're hopefully saying, you know, broaden your work environment, expand.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a time when even for me, if it wasn't ABC, CBS, you know, NBC, HBO, Showtime, then I wasn't even looking at it.
Right.
But now there's so many
many
platforms.
places, yeah.
So many platforms.
Yep.
So if we continue to open ourselves up to all these platforms, then really there shouldn't be any limit to what we do.
Absolutely.
Right.
So there's not even a reason for it. Is there a comeback or not?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're talking about the comeback. Now we're going to talk about the clapback because
Oh,
Gayle
Lord.
King
Oh my
and
gosh.
Snoop Dogg have been all up in the news
Man.
because, of course, we know that Gayle conducted an interview with Lisa Leslie, and a lot of people were criticizing her over some of her questioning to Leslie, especially in reference to Kobe Bryant, who we recently, unfortunately, lost. And people were, you know, voicing their opinions, and Snoop Dogg was one of them, and he did an ultimate clapback to her on his IG and social media, expressing in certain words and vocabulary words how he was unhappy with what she had done during that interview.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, this has been going back and forth. Oprah was on, you know, the morning news. She was talking about how Gayle was getting death threats and how she was really upset, couldn't get out of bed. And this has kind of been going back and forth over the last week. Well, we finally have what seems to be the ending of the feud because Snoop Dogg posted a social media post about his apology to Gayle and how he felt terrible about what the situation was and responsible for at least giving a explanation on why he said what he said and also give his full apology. Apparently Snoop Dogg's mom has been involved with telling him that she wanted him to issue the apology.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So hey, whatever works, but we have a little clip here from his IG story on his apology.
Wrong, you gotta fix it. So with that being said, Gayle King, I publicly tore you down by coming at you in a derogatory manner based off of emotions, me being angry at questions that you asked. Overreacted. I should have handled it way different than that. I was raised way better than that. So I would like to apologize to you publicly for the language that I used and calling you out of your name and just being disrespectful. I didn't mean for it to be like that. I was just expressing myself for a friend that wasn't here to defend himself. A lot of people look up to me and they love me and they appreciate me, so I want to let them know that anytime you mess up, it's okay to fix it. It's okay to man up and say that you're wrong. I apologize. Hopefully we can sit down and talk privately. Have a good day.
All right. How do you guys feel about that
I
apology? Would you
love that he
accept
did
it?
that.
Would you
Yes.
accept it?
Absolutely.
I love it.
I love that
it
he
was
did
humble. It was honest. It was filled with truth. There was no ego in it. There was no arrogance in it. And that's like he said, like if we all could just apologize when we're wrong, it makes it makes the situation different. What to me, even with me, what makes a problem keep going is if you can't just apologize. An apology is worth so much.
It is.
And I mean, I still may have my feelings hurt. There still may be issues, but let's start with you apologizing and saying, I didn't mean it that way.
That's right.
And I want us to be different.
We can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we get so passionate about what our point of view, and we can fly off the handle and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like just sitting down, maybe taking a minute to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Stepping away from the situation before it escalates, because we do not need to disrespect one another. We don't. We get enough of that outside of our community. You know what I'm saying?
It's in this world that we live in, especially in these United States of America, a lot of people, black people especially, are in pain. We're suffering behind a lot of stuff. And, those who aren't being victimized because of the color of their skin, they may not see the emotionality that comes with something like this. Snoop being good friends with Kobe Bryant. I know if someone were to come and do something that I felt was an attack on a recently deceased friend of mine, I may have an emotional response to it. So I understand that. I don't think that Gayle King deserves death threats.
No.
And and Snoop apologized, so I don't have to apologize for him. But with that, it hadn't even been an entire pay period since he died, and that can it's like picking at a sore or a cut or a scab that's fresh. It hurts. It still hurts. It's brand new, and I think that a lot of people, outside of other things that have been circling around in the media, social and otherwise, like you said, I don't think that we should tear each other down, and an apology goes a long way. I'm guilty of flying off the handle and blowing up with an emotional response, and I know how hurtful that can be. Someone may say, I didn't mean it that way. And, they may apologize, but I think an apology is not just for the person that was insulted. It was for the one who did the insulting and the blowing up. So I commend Snoop for what he did. I hope, Gayle, that you are not suffering too much. I know that it's painful, and sometimes we think back, maybe I could have made a different decision. We don't really know what went on, but I just... It's been a bit of a mess. But I gotta ride with everybody and say, look, we can do better, and we must.
I think sometimes too, if I could just throw in, one of the things I'm even trying to be more specific about in this 2020, I'm calling it the year of clear, is the communication, meaning our intentions. What's your intention behind what you're doing? What's your intention behind what you're saying? And a lot of times, if your intention's not clear, there's too much room for it to go left or right. And I kind of think that's what happened with that interview.
I agree.
Those, you know what I mean? Those questions were, like you said, they were targeted on a fresh wound, and so no one understood the intention behind them. And that's where you kind of get messed up, when your intention's not clear.
That's true.
So.
And one of the things I hated, honestly, is because of who they both are, I hate seeing black people fight over in the media. Like you were kind of saying, Tammy, we already are criticized for so many different things. So when you see those realm of people in that celebrity realm, and they're fighting, it just trickles down, and it just makes such a negative tone in our community, And I mean, listen, we watch reality TV and we do a lot of different things that are enjoyable or whatever, but not taking it too seriously. But when it starts to get on this level, and there's death threats, and there's now Gayle has to walk around with security and things like that, it's like, wow, where's that going to go? And it's only going to go to a bad place. So I respect Snoop for actually giving his public apology, and it felt heartfelt.
It did. It did.
So hopefully they can move on and sit down and really super squash it. All right, well, we got some great other things to talk about. This time we're talking about Stuck With You, because I'm all about that movie. Tonight premieres on UMC. We got the cast right here. I want to know all about the characters here. So Tammy, you play Candace.
I do.
What's Candace all about?
Well, Candace is a self-made woman. I mean, she's a health guru, health and fitness guru. She's an author. Back in the 90s, she was a R&B singer, very successful R&B singer. And so right now, she's in the mix of a marriage that I don't want to tip it too much.
Well,
I'm trying to like
if they haven't seen
yeah,
it,
right.
Oh, can I help you?
Yeah, go ahead, help me.
Because Stephanie,
Yes.
Candace is publicist and very, very best friend.
And you play Stephanie.
I
Yes,
play
you play
Stephanie. Yeah. Candace is in the middle of trying to figure out which is more important to her.
Yes.
Okay.
Career choices that could keep her and get her hot, or relationship choices that may not feed the career.
Okay.
And I think, while we live that right now with this hashtag relationship goals all over social media,
right.
we don't really know what the truth is. All we know is what's put out there.
Exactly.
I love that stuck with you, especially with these two. It kind of takes an intimate look at what happens behind all of that social media. What's really the private media going on? How'd I do?
That was
That was
excellent.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
You made me want to watch it even more.
Thank you.
I'm in it, and I'm interested in seeing this.
And
Check this show out.
you play Lavelle?
Yeah, I play
And what's Lavelle all about?
Lavelle is part of what she said. We on the surface, Lavelle is this this beacon of he's hot, he's famous, and he's involved with this woman, Candace, who he's enamored by, but he still has to keep this public social persona for things to be different. And Lavelle is a bit of a mess over Candace, and Stephanie in one of the scenes she has to let us know, look, this is what needs to happen with you two.
I'm good
Otherwise,
at that. Look.
Sometimes
I like
you need
playing
that.
that.
I like that.
It's the difference between when a man snap and a woman snap.
Right.
My snaps don't have the snap effect. But it's a tricky situation where Candace and Lavelle have to try to figure out who they are to one another. While being who they need to be for their public appearance, and then navigating through expectations and temptations and all the other things that a public life will throw at you. It's hard to navigate through that, and I don't want to give away too much. But it's that kind of that dynamic to where, he's trying to be this thing also while being, look.
Yeah, you do not have a bad day job, brother. Let me tell you something. You are surrounded by some beauty for sure.
One of the other things that's funny, because when I was reading the script and while we were shooting, for some reason I was going to ask you guys this too. It didn't hit me like it has as I've seen it now that it's edited and produced. Because of course we're not always around when we're filming, except for what we're doing together. And one of the things I really also love about it is going within that. You also have these friendships. So now you have all of that drama, but everybody's friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, like Lavelle is like, well, are you taking sides with Candace? And I'm like, well, Candace is my best friend. Well, I'm your friend too. I know. But you got all that dynamic too that also gets in the way, when friends work together. So, but it's also juicy.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the clip for the show, I was like, all right, this is a little steamy here. In fact, we got a little something right here we can show the audience. We'll show a little clip from the show.
Go.
Oh, that's right. You're married, right?
Yeah, well, that still means something to some people.
But what does that really mean to you?
There's always somebody waiting in the wings.
I'm tired of being alone when I don't have to be.
I'm not ready to give up on the idea of falling in love with that special one.
Are you asking me out?
Show me what I need to do to figure my fiance out, man.
I feel like he may not be ready for all that I want.
This is your idea. Together, but not together, remember?
Girl, I've been trying
All right, see, that's what I'm talking about. A little steam, little love.
Man.
Yeah.
Black love.
And it looks like it's 4 stories. Is it 4 different stories?
We're not going to tell you. You have to watch.
I'll check it out.
But we will say this: it's different stages of love and marriage within that. So I think what's really nice about the show is that people can watch, and if they're in something or even not in something, there's some character in there that you can relate to.
True.
And hopefully do some healing, because I do believe that Patricia Cuffey Jones is a healer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A wonderful writer, talented writer, but even above and beyond that is she just she writes for the soul.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that.
And the energy on set was already.
Wasn't it?
It was. I mean, because Tammy and I met one time. Just
Before
one
shooting?
time
Yeah. I
before
didn't
we
even know
shot.
that.
Yeah, we met at what was it,
can't
NAACP
even-
Image Awards,
Yeah.
some
Yes.
kind of pre-Image Awards something, where I met her. Met her one time,
Yeah.
and we clicked, and they were like, "Oh, you know, you're gonna be playing opposite Tammy." I'm like, "Oh, what? I'm like, that's my homie." I claim it as my homie, but even with that, you know, with how how loving and funny, but how heavy and healing that this show can be, it helps to work with super dope sisters and brothers who are passionate about what they do. I mean, there were some people who were new to the job, who put their effort, from the people who served us our food all the way to the folks who operated the camera. There was a level of passion and this stick-to-itiveness that made it even better. And y'all don't let the smooth taste fool y'all. These women are not only beautiful, but they're talented, but just
smooth taste.
just cool, just really cool, and it made it very easy. 'Cause we shot out a sequence.
Yeah, completely.
It was hot.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys shoot at?
Here in LA.
In LA?
Yeah,
we
in the
had
summer.
different locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here in LA in the summer.
In the summer.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes far away, but it's just
In
everyone
places
was
that
there.
didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just when you have that passion for what you do, it works.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all worked in situations where you're like, man, I can't wait for this to be over with.
Oh my goodness.
And I never really felt like that.
felt that.
No.
I was pleasantly surprised because I was shot out. What that means to anybody who doesn't know is all my scenes had to be done within a week. So not only were we shooting out a sequence, but even for different episodes, I had to be done within a week because I was traveling.
Yeah.
So everybody was amazing with that because that throws everyone else off too.
Yes.
But I have to say that I have not had this kind of experience with a new cast coming together so fast, the chemistry blowing up the spot since since Baby Boy.
Wow.
And we worked it though. We worked at that. Like,
And that's
I
classic.
spent 2 weeks living with Tyrese before we shot.
Wow.
I spent 2 and 3 weeks in South Central just trying to get the vibe and Ving and I spent a lot of time together.
Oh yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, by the time you roll the camera, a lot of times, and rest his soul, one of the things I loved about John that I'm getting from Patricia as a friend and as a writer, creator, director is, once you have the chemistry, then the words just kind of come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how she's maneuvering, So it was easy to work with them, and hopefully you'll feel it and see it as you get to know these relationships and these people.
I actually have something to say about you. The scenes that she and I had were they were shorter scenes, but I love AJ. First of all, she'd be like, I don't even know what my lines are. What are my lines? Somebody come in here. I need your help. I need somebody to need help me. So she would she would read the lines over and then still forget them. But what I loved about it is like as soon as Patricia said action, she was in it.
Yeah.
And then because she didn't know the script, that she knew the basics of it, basics of it, and then these beautiful moments would happen that weren't written.
Right.
And I'm like, now see, that's a professional.
That's a pro.
She got time in the game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is those were most enjoyable. Those office scenes when we were out on
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you just
the dynamic and the chemistry, and we didn't have much to do this particular season, but Tammy did a nice job of introducing my character by her work. So I didn't really have a whole lot to do because her reactions, her take on it, we would come together. And that's the other thing, just coming together as actors saying, what do you need in this scene? What do you need in this scene? What level, this is what I'm trying to get across. So if you can react based on me doing my intention, like I said earlier, like this is my intention in the scene. Okay, got it. It was fun. It was fun to create.
And y'all were helping each other.
I think birds of a feather flock together when it comes to creativity. Like, I had conversations where it was just, like off camera, we would sit and talk about whatever. And this was the most time that we had ever spent together. And we, every day that we were on set, we're spending time together, intimate time, where it has to be us in these moments. And I think that sometimes, even when you say, what do you need, sometimes it's something that doesn't even need to be said.
That's
you
true.
You feel it, you see it. And it's like a tennis match. Like, she threw it to me, and I'm like, oh. Well, I'm going to throw it back, and then you end up getting this stuff, and but you hear Patricia say, cut. You better have a scene. You better have a moment. You better do this.
Well, all right, then.
To see your director and producer and production teams and other cast members and production staff, you know, all just enthralled with watching what you guys have just done for the first couple of times.
When you move them,
you know,
after they've seen it over and over and over again,
if you can make the crew laugh, if you can make the director cry, and it's her word,
that's right.
Come on now,
because she knows the word.
I teased you a lot though.
Well, you know, we
I wasn't sure how he was going, but I like to do that with everybody that you know that I like, and if I'm not teasing you, I don't.
I love that. I love that.
And he came right back. I was like, oh, we're gonna have fun now.
That's what we doing.
It was fun.
Well, I feel the energy. I definitely feel the energy of you guys here. And it's Valentine's, so what is any special plans that you all are doing?
We have our premiere screening and party tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
So
at the Pan African Film Festival.
That's right.
That's right.
Magic Johnson Theater.
The theater is it with the Cinemark? Is that what it's called?
The Cinemark.
Cinemark.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that's what's happening.
Okay.
It's nice that we're launching in Black History Month.
You definitely are. Yep.
So that was special for me because I don't really have a Valentine. So, what camera do I look at? What camera do I look at?
Right there, camera right.
Blinkies.
You gonna have one now.
Look,
and I so believe in Valentine's
look here, everyone.
So I'll be at the premiere alone.
Okay. She says that now she's gonna have like 10 date offers real soon.
Exactly.
Well, where can fans find you or someone who wants to date you, AJ, on social media?
Well, that's two different answers. But I'll give the one that's okay for you two. At the AJ Zone on all social media platforms.
Okay.
The AJ Zone. Don't leave off the because that's a porn site. At the AJ Zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you won't find me at AJ Zone.
Okay.
In Jesus' name.
Okay.
It's the AJ Zone.
Okay.
Listen, it's gotten rough a few times. I thought there was gonna be a Tammy Zone.
Listen.
For real. I was like, Lord, you need to never mind.
Right.
Okay,
the AJ Zone. Absolutely.
No, I want to hear about this thing. Hold on. We're gonna have some minutes to this interview. Timon, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I know I'm not the biggest social media dude, but Timon K. Durrett at Instagram, and the same for Twitter and on Facebook, which I'm never really ever on. It's just so much stuff. It's like filling out tax forms when I go on Facebook.
Right, that
I'm like,
part.
what is
That's
all
true.
this? You know, do you want to order your food through your friends or through your email? What? I don't know these people. I don't even need food. Who said I was hungry? Stop showing me ads that I just talked about. Don't spy on me.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
that's where I'm at. You know, y'all can holler at me. You know, I'm not the mean jerk a-hole that I usually play. They'll tell you I'm the biggest.
Bullshit. Sorry.
Teddy bear.
I'm the biggest nerd, goofball.
Great.
That's just
so
me.
great.
I'm super silly. I said, don't
that nerd
you know,
goofball.
I'm that
it's
dude.
the best.
But I'm also a sci-fi junkie for anyone who wants to cast me in a zombie movie. Thank you.
We can manifest that. Tammy, where can they find you?
Tammy Townsend 10.
Tammy, she kept it simple.
Tammy Townsend 10.
Tammy Townsend 10.
Across
And
the
the
board.
10 is not because I think I'm a perfect 10. It's because there are other Tammy Townsends.
Well, we were excited to have y'all today.
Man,
Go
appreciate
check out UMC and please watch this series, 6-part series, right?
Yes.
Stuck with you. I'll be watching. So
It's streaming now. Wait, we got to do what is it? www.umc.tv.
It's streaming now.
Amazon Prime Video and wherever there's streaming.
Roku.
You know.
Wherever you can, Apple Play, you can get it. You can actually
and the UMC app.
Yes, and the UMC app.
UMC app.
Yes,
Make sure to watch it.
Yep.
Watch your favorite people right here, and we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. You can catch me at Derrial, Christon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on CBS's This Is LA. So I will see y'all soon. Have a great weekend.
Yay.
Oh, do I have Valentine's? You tried to slide that in.
I did.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content. And be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood